Trump, welcome back to the Mike Gallagher Show. How are you, sir?
Hi, Mike. Nice to be with you again.
These numbers, I mean, I'm looking at South Carolina, Nevada. I mean, and what's fascinating about this latest CNN poll, you lead by a million miles in terms of what matters most to likely voters, and that's the economy. I mean, that number is astounding. I just shared this. 67% of likely voters in Nevada think Donald Trump is the best person qualified to deal with the American economy. That's almost everybody makes a big deal about the immigration issue, but it seems like Americans
But
I
lead on immigration, too, which is really amazing. I almost lead on social issues and lead with the evangelicals. It's an amazing poll, and I must tell you, Mike, I agree with it. What can I tell you? I think I agree with it. But no, on the economy, which is such an important thing right now because we're doing so poorly, we have 100 million people out of the workforce. 100 million.
Right.
And, our real unemployment rate's probably 25%, could even be more than that. And, the economy is very important, and I'll bring jobs back, and I'm going to take care of our trade pacts, which are a disgrace all over the world. They're a disgrace. And people see that, and they've heard me talking about it. And, I was very honored by the poll because when you're 38 and the next highest is like 12 and 14, that's a big difference.
It's a huge
I think
margin.
On the economy, it's like almost 70%.
67% in Nevada.
Yeah.
Carly Fiorina is second with 7%. I mean, 67 to 7%. I mean, these are gigantic leads. In South Carolina, another important early state, you lead with 59% on the subject of the economy. Jeb Bush is second with 7%. It's not even a competition. Undoubtedly, people know about your track record as a very successful businessman, and people are saying, listen, if he knows how to run a huge company, why can't he run our economy?
Well, I built a great company. I employ thousands and thousands of people. I've had amazing success. I also own very iconic assets. It's not just like, I own buildings, et cetera. I mean, they're great, great places. They're very important. Doral in Florida, Trump Tower, the Trump Building, 40 Wall Street, right opposite the New York Stock Exchange. Many, many, many. And even outside, the Great Turnberry Resort in Scotland where they play the British Open.
Sure.
And, it's amazing stuff. And people see it, and they see what I've done. And I talk about what we can do together. We have to take our jobs back from all these countries. They have just ripped us in these trade pacts. And I'm very good at that. That's my wheelhouse. Nobody else can do that like I do that.
Right.
Not bragging. I mean, that's what I do.
So do you support free trade deals like NAFTA? Do you allow corporations, the businesses to, this is a big question that people have about free trade and how do we trade with other countries? How do we because this is where you've been so strong. We keep getting beat over and over again. They're beating us, and you want that to end.
Well, it's going to end. I mean, there's not even a question about it. We have a trade deficit with China of almost $400 billion a year. That's going to end. Well, only an insane group of people would allow that to continue. And the reason it continues is because China and other companies that make a fortune have lobbyists, and they have special interest people that go out and tell the politicians to keep it going.
Right.
But only an insane person. I do believe in free trade, but I don't want to lose $400 billion to have free trade.
Right.
I want it to be fair and smart trade, but I do believe I'm a free trader. The problem is we don't make any good deals. We don't have the people that make good deals, Mike, and we don't have smart people or experienced people, but we don't have – I know the greatest traders in the world. I know the greatest deal makers in the world. They don't want any money.
Right.
I'm going to put them in charge. You take a Carl Icahn, who's on my side. You see, he endorsed me and everything else, right? He's a great, great businessman. We're going to put Carl – let's say I have Carl just looking over the shoulder of China, the people – believe me, you can go home and you can relax. We're going to make a great deal. We're not going to be losing $400 billion, I can tell you.
An astounding thing happened the other night. I sit back to watch the CNN debate with the Democrats. It seems like CNN gave more publicity and coverage to you live tweeting the debate than they did the Democrats who were on that stage. Did you have a good time watching the debate the other night? And what'd you think?
Well, it was pretty boring, and it was a very much different debate. It was much softer than ours. The CNN, because the people in the Democratic group that made the deal, the DNC, they really put down rules, and they with ours it was like a reality television show. What do you think about the man next to you, Mr. Trump, who said this and that, right? And whereas with them it was just straight questions back and forth. Plus they didn't have a 3-hour debate, which was insane. They had really a 1.5-hour debate. That's how Hillary, she came out fine. she escaped, and she came out fine. I actually think she did pretty well. To be honest with you, I think she did pretty well. I think a lot of people were surprised. But she didn't have to go through a 3-hour debate. Right. She didn't have to get killed by these other people that were, nobody went after her. It was like the friendliest debate. It was pretty boring, honestly.
Well, except for the part where Bernie Sanders said that the most pressing national security concern we have is climate change.
Oh, I agree. I mean, wasn't that beautiful? Here, people want to nuke us, and he's worried about the only climate change we have to worry. I call it global warming. The original word that didn't work out so well. But the only global warming we have to worry about is nuclear global warming. That's the stuff we have to worry
about. No kidding. I know you got.
That wasn't amazing when he said that was our biggest problem.
It was like another worldly experience. This guy's filling arenas with people who are following. He's like the crazy uncle that comes to Thanksgiving dinner and won't leave. Are you kidding me? You think the Earth's core is more important right now than the people that want to blow us to smithereens?
Right.
It's nuts.
In the 1920s, they had a phenomenon called global cooling. They thought the world was going to freeze, and we were all going to freeze in it. And it's true. If you look, the cover of magazines, 1920s, it was global freezing. It was going to be global freezing. Now it's global warming, but they changed that. And now they've even changed climate change to extreme weather because that wasn't even working.
That doesn't work either.
Extreme weather is great. Every time there's a tornado, they say, it's, extreme weather, climate change. So, look, we have a problem. Many problems. That doesn't happen to be one of them.
I know you got to go. This is a quick hit today, and we always are grateful for your time. Now, I played some Twisted Sister. You tweeted, you hinted this week that you may be unveiling a new theme song on your campaign stops.
Well, we have a couple, but I'll tell you, the Twisted Sister, people are loving that song because it says it. We're not going to take it anymore. I mean, it says it so well, and as you know, he's a great guy. Okay, fantastic guy.
Well, it does capture the theme of what people are saying about Donald Trump. Enough already. We're mad as hell and not going to take it anymore.
We're very angry, and there are a lot of angry people out there, and they're phenomenal people. I saw it yesterday in Virginia. I see it every time I go to Iowa. Every time if I go to New Hampshire, I mean, we have 4,000 or 5,000 people every time.
Right.
It's an amazing thing that's happening. South Carolina, we had 9,000 people. Last night we had 8,000 or 9,000 people in Virginia. The people are just, Mike, it's amazing. It's like a love fest. They just want to see the country get better.
And I say Donald Trump on the air, and my phone lines jam up with people who say how much they love you. Little old lady just called from Florida. She said
so nice.
He's going to win Florida, and he's got to win Florida. She said I'm out there knocking on doors for him and volunteering. So nice. But you get that everywhere right now. You also get some of the malcontents and the protesters, which you said this the other day. How about Secret Service protection? Barack Obama had it at his stage of the campaign back in.
Well, it's probably because we had 20,000 in Dallas, we had 20,000 in Oklahoma,
right.
We had 35,000 in Mobile, Alabama. It's sort of a lot of people to have a few guards, et cetera, et cetera. But hopefully they're going to do what's right. But it's been. You mentioned Florida. We're leading Florida by a lot, and you have a governor and you have a senator.
What a ride!
From Florida.
What a ride! You looking forward if you have a chance to debate Hillary Clinton on stage?
I would. I'd love to because her record is absolutely terrible. I mean, she cannot defend. The world blew up around her. The world is a much worse place. The world has blown up around her, and we're less safe than ever before.
Donald Trump, thank you so very much for your time. All the best. Stay safe on the campaign trail, and thanks for checking in with us once in a while.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Appreciate it very
everything.
much. Donald Trump joining us on the Mike Gallagher Show.